Hello, hello, Josie here. You ready for the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? And are you sure? Okay, here we go. So, it's not necessarily that people are angry at you. They're angry because they don't have access to you anymore. They lost that privilege of having access to you. They lost the privilege of being your friend. They lost the privilege of you even giving a damn about them or caring about them. And the reason why they lost that privilege is because of how they treated you. They took advantage of you. They took your kindness as a weakness, and they tried to exploit your kindness because they saw it as a weakness. And then when you caught on to what they were doing, they did not stop, right? They tried to play you. They tried to make you, the word gaslight. They gaslight you. They try to make you think, oh, you weren't seeing what you were seeing, or you weren't observing what you were observing. But little did they know that we have been observing them for years. Years. For me, I knew for a very long time. I just did not want to cut ties with these individuals because of the history, the connection, that we were family, or that I thought we were friends. And it was not necessarily a Pollyanna attitude. It was an attitude of, I'm praying for them to change. I hope that they change. I wish that they would stop. But they never did. They just kept going and going and going and going. And until you cut the cord, until you say no more, until you just stop, they're not going to stop. They're going to keep taking, and you're going to keep giving, and they're going to keep taking, and they're going to keep taking, and you're going to keep giving, and then you're just going to drain yourself. And then when you have nothing else to give, this is the saddest part of it all. When you have nothing else to give, when you're drained, when you're tired, when you're frustrated, when you're aggravated, when you go to them and you say, hey, look, I'm tired of this. I don't like this. I'm being treated like this. And they come at you with, I don't know what you're talking about, or you're overreacting. It's time to be done with it. It's time to be done with it. And there are energies and people that don't want it to be over. Because they had a good thing. They had a good friend. They had a good partner. A good relationship. They had a good thing. And they don't want to lose it. They don't want to lose you. Because they were gaining off of you. They were leveling up off of you. And I think the most treacherous are the ones that will level up off of you, gain off of you, and talk dirty on you at the same fucking damn time. I mean, talk so much shit about you and your character and tell lies, but they're still gaining off of you. They're copying you. They're taking your advice and leveling up, but then putting you down so that they can be superior to you. But they know that they're not. Those are the most treacherous individuals. So yeah, they're angry. They're angry because they lost access to you. They're not, they don't like you. They don't love you. They don't care about you. They just want to use you. And because they can't use you anymore, to them, that's just not acceptable. And so they'll go to great lengths and extremes in order to get that old thing, that good thing, that security back. But they know it's over. And the more that they do, the more that they are screwed. Little do they know the more that they do, the more that they are screwed. They're just digging a bigger hole for themselves with every negative action, negative word that they do and that they say to come against us because they're angry. They're making it worse for them. They're digging their own grave. Because the truths are going to come out to the light. So all the lies that were said or told about us, all the things that we did for these individuals, how we were encouragers, we were kind, we were giving, we were loving, all of these things are going to be found out. People are going to be made aware. And then, what is the response going to be from those individuals that were believing the lies that were told about us? And some of these people actually had such big balls and such big cunts that they took those lies, went out into the world, and spread them about to other individuals because they believed them and because they got off on these lies and knowing what that would do to our reputations and our livelihoods. Everything comes out to the light sooner or later. And I don't know why people, and I say people in general, why a lot of people do not believe that. It's almost as if these individuals, they think that, I just heard that the fat meat ain't greasy. They think that fat meat ain't greasy. They think that they can keep going with something and that it's never going to catch up to them. And that's just not how it works. And that goes for both sides. You know, we have done so much, I have done so much over the years to help others, that now it's time for me to have some relief. For me to have a life of my own where I'm not supporting other people, I'm not protecting other people, I'm not giving my love and my affection and my attention to other people. I need to put that into myself. I've been giving and giving for so many years and draining myself, and people have been just fine with that. They've been A-okay with that. And then when I pull back because they've drained me, run me down in more ways than one, then they want to keep coming at me and subjecting me to even more foul treatment. And no. And so God has to step in on the behalf of his children because he knows our hearts. He knows our thoughts. He knows our hearts. He knows that we are loving, that we will keep giving and giving until we can't give anymore. And then we're no good for him. We're no good for God to use. But he doesn't see it that way. But he sees it as, these people are going to drain my children until they're dead. And then go and do the same thing to somebody else. Oh, no. He's not going to allow that. So what ends up happening is God eventually steps in and cuts certain relationships. He ends relationships, marriages, friendships, family connections and bonds and so on and so forth, because he sees what we don't see. He knows things that we don't know. He was in rooms that we were not in where they were collaborating to come against us, to attack us and drain us some more. So God had to come in there and cut and push this away and cut this away, because these individuals were not going to stop. And everything that they have done has not been to help us, but rather to hurt us and steal from us and destroy us for their betterment, for their happiness, for their bank account, for their popularity, for their success. And no, it's a no. And all of that has to be returned. All of it has to be returned. There has to be reciprocity. And if these individuals have refused to reciprocate and give back in kind, and we're not just talking about a week or a month, we're talking about some of these individuals have been stealing from us for years and have not reciprocated other than to talk shit about us, disparage our character, to make us lower so they can go higher. It's a no. It has to be reciprocated. We have to get back what we put out there. And God is the one that is going to be doing it. Whether these individuals want it or not. Do you know that there are still individuals that are trying to come in between me and my blessings, me and my next chapter, me and the next individuals that are supposed to be coming in my life? There are still individuals that are still trying to block what God has for me and believing that they're going to be successful. And it is a no. It's a no. But they're still trying. So now God has to come in and he has to remove some people. He has to stop some people because they refuse to stop on their own. I've said this before and I'm going to say it again. There's levels to this. And there are some individuals that are on levels that they have no business being on, and they're being dropped down to the level where they should have been, but they only got to the level that they're at by stepping and climbing and lying on others to get there. They're going to be reduced down to the level that they're supposed to be at. And we're going to be leveling up to where we're supposed to be at, where we should have been all along. But God's timing is perfect. And he allowed certain things to happen in our lives to perfect us in his image. Notice how I did not say that I was perfect or that God's children are perfect. No, God perfects his children in his image. Meaning we are perfect for whatever it is that God has for us to do. Also meaning that nobody can do what God has for us to do. Only we can do that. And you have individuals that are trying to put themselves in our positions so that they can gain off of what we're going to receive from where we're supposed to be. You can't play God. You can't lie to God. You can't fool God. You can't trick God. And my goodness, if you try to, wow. And a lot of people have tried to. Not only did they try to trick us and fool us and lie to us and deceive us, but they're trying to do that to God and believing that they're going to be successful and they're not. So God has to take some of these people out because they're just so hell-bent on putting themselves in a place and in a position where they never belonged, and they sure as hell do not belong because of everything that they had to do to try to get what rightfully belongs to us. I'm going to leave it at that. They're not angry at us. They may act as if they're angry at us, but no, they're angry because they lost access to us, and they're going to be angry because they're not going to be able to steal from us anymore, and they're going to be angry because they're not going to be able to sit in the position that God has for us to sit in, because it's not made for them. And they're angry because they're trying any and everything to be able to, and none of it is working. And because they refuse to stop. This is not one of those times, not one of those instances where, or not one of those situations where you say, if at first I don't succeed, I dust myself off and try again. No, you have not succeeded time after time after time after time after time after time doing the same thing to an individual, and it has not worked. So if you have that mentality of, oh, if at first I don't succeed, I'm going to dust myself off and try again. No. When it comes to what you're trying to do, it's a no. And there are going to be a lot more no's in these individuals' futures. There are going to be a lot of declines in these people's futures. Health decline, mental decline, physical decline, and a spiritual decline. They have put themselves in a lower, sunken state and place of mind in society. And they did so intentionally. It's above me now.